Hey there, welcome to Gals Get Real, where real women, real stories, and real talk come together. I'm Meghan.
I'm Kristin. Between us, we have 9 adult children with 6 daughters. Let's open up the conversations we never had with our moms and flip the script with the kind of connections we want with each other and our daughters.
We're here to laugh, cry, and dive into all the things, from everyday shifts to the curveballs and life pivots, and the messy, magical moments that make us who we are. Hello. So we are so excited for today. We are here with our guest, Kathleen. She is the founder and CEO of Morphmom, a multimedia platform dedicated to inspiring, empowering, and connecting women. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Kathleen.
Thank you guys so much for having me. It's an honor to be on your show, and I'm so thrilled with the venture that you guys are about to begin. It's so needed and will help so many people generationally, and I'm just so excited for what you're doing.
Oh my gosh.
That means the world. We went to one of your panels, and honestly, it was inspiring just to get insights in terms of what women are doing. It made us so excited. Women are out there doing really cool things. They're pivoting. They're sort of figuring out their next chapter, so to speak. And so we were wondering how you could tie that in to generations a little bit and give us some advice for the younger generations.
I think an interesting thing, and we had talked about this when you guys, right after the panel, and what was missing out there. And I think a big part is, as with Morphmom, what I do is I travel the country, and I've been doing this for over a decade, sharing women's stories about taking next steps.
Mm-hmm.
And this is primarily, or very much from a generation, at least for mine, when you set out to what you were going to do right out of college, you stayed in that lane. There was no pivoting. There were no other paths. You stayed where you were. And this new young generation, and I have a daughter who's 29, and I envy. They want to work, but they're not afraid to pivot. They don't see it that they're stuck in a lane. They see that there are many opportunities, and they're very willing to go out there and to explore. And I think combining those two worlds is so important. I think we can share how we sort of went through this and learned to pivot at this age. And this younger generation with the ability to pivot right now can see what we're doing. So they're not going to wait years and years and years to do it. They're going to see what's out there and how we're doing it. And in turn, we can learn from how they're doing it as well.
That's exactly the exchange we're talking about having. Learning from one another, sharing that. And I love the word pivot because it does suggest that you can still stay near your lane, but perhaps just a different perspective, just to have the options.
No, exactly. I have a 28-year-old daughter, and she is going to be a part of this podcast. Her main client was McKinsey Healthcare. So when she ended up pivoting, she actually went to a healthcare tech startup. So it really was, to your point, a similar lane, but a much more interesting, sort of exciting thing. So I think that we were afraid to do that. And I can speak for myself. I think at this age...
Well, we still are.
At this age, I'm still kind of nervous about putting out a podcast. But at the end of the day, if you never give it a shot, then you never really know where it's going to land.
As I said, I've interviewed thousands of women. A very common theme was always very much that part of, the fear to start, almost self-sabotaging yourself, to not begin because of that fear of failing. And I think the definition of failure is not trying. And I think 100%. It's hard for us to embrace that, but I think we do. And that's what Morphmoms do. If you don't try, I think that is the failure. But I love in this younger generation, they see it that way. They're not afraid to fail. I love that these younger women and I have sons as well.
Same, yes.
They're not afraid to pivot. They're not afraid to try something, knowing it may not work. And I love that fortitude in them. But I also love that we share that as well. Like at our age, we have that now as well.
Right. And I feel like even our moms, the generation older than us, are kind of cheering us on.
Oh, yeah.
In many ways, wishing that they had that, but so grateful and happy that we do. So it's a movement in a way, an evolution of sorts. And I really wonder, perhaps it's the connection that makes a lot of this possible because the younger generation does have access to a lot of resources. They have access to one another. When you create the amazing group you've created and the panels that you put together, that is connection. And when you have that and that sharing, I mean, it's just, we all get lifted.
And I think it's just the built-in support system as well, which many times, again, going back to our generation many years ago, I'm not sure it was always overly as supportive as it is now. And now I think the wave of support is unbelievable. I mean, it lifts you. You can't not be lifted by someone next to you. They want you to succeed. And I think the younger generation, too, absolutely feels like that. They want each other to succeed. The world is big enough for all of us. We can all try. There's no competing lane that we can't all fit in. I really see that in them as well.
Yeah, no, that's a big thing. Let me just ask you, so how, I know that you were a prosecutor, correct? Which is
Amazing.
such a cool. Amazing
Talk
job.
about pivoting.
And I could see you being amazing at it. I believe that you stopped that because things were getting so crazy and your husband's also a lawyer and you had 3 children. But how did you come up with this concept and idea of connecting all these women? Because I think you've literally interviewed, is it 2,000 women?
So many. I mean, it's been a long time. It's been 12 years I've been doing it. What happened was I loved what I did. I absolutely loved it. And I'm sure everyone will understand this story and can apply it to themselves as well. I, at the time, was doing juvenile prosecuting, which I loved, especially because it's rehabilitative. It's not punitive. So I was working with the kids and we were working all together as a team. And when I was in law school, I had taught in a prison my second year and I loved it. I just, everything about it. So when I stopped to stay home with my kids, I had the intention of going back and the next year I'll be back. Well, 12 years later and 3 kids, it wasn't going to happen. Too much time had gone by and there was no way. And I also still had young kids at home. Like I couldn't just leave and go. And I didn't know who I was anymore. I didn't know what I could do. I didn't know how to translate what I'd come from, which I loved so much, but I didn't know what that translated to. And again, I think many people would relate to these feelings and you feel very alone. You feel very lost. You're not really sure what you can do, if you even can do anything anymore, because the world has changed so much in that time. And it's terrifying. Like jumping in it's terrifying. And then you're so worried because in this next chapter, is this it? Like, do I have to hit this perfectly to know this is it? You know, and I don't know that yet at this time. So I was very lost back then. And I was looking and I'd Google and I'd say, what do I do? How do I figure this out? And there was just nothing there. And that invisible thing on the shelf just kept sort of bringing me towards it. What we needed, women like myself and so many people out there, we needed sort of this library, this resource to tell. All these women had done it. I just needed to get out there, capture their stories, and share them as a resource, as a library to see what was there, how you did it, steps you take at this point in life, steps that didn't work, and just a connection. You lose that part. So originally, Morphmom was the name of it, and that has morphed in theory because it was women who had left work and were going back as moms going back to figure out the next steps. And I traveled the country for a few years and women would say to me, wait, you've got to talk to Sally. She's not a mom, but this is going to help. Or you've got to talk to Amy. She never left work, but this is going to help. Or you've got to talk to Cindy because her next step had nothing to do with work. Her next step was volunteer or, you know, getting on a board, or many times dealing with a tragedy, an unexpected thing that becomes our next step. So Morphmom, what I do, really morphed over the years into sharing women's stories who had taken next steps and sharing those journeys with us out there trying to figure out our next steps. So you have a connection, you have the inspiration, but you have the actual steps as well. So that was sort of the way we morphed. And now I travel the country still sharing women's stories with the premise that every woman has a story, regardless of what it is. As long as there is a next step that could help somebody else, I share the story. So that's how it all came to be.
Right.
Sharing of stories and how many commonalities we have, even though it appears from the outside, perhaps not, whether you're going through something traumatic or not, or whether you're a mom or not, right?
Right. And there can be so many components in one story that could help so many people. You may not even know going in, all of a sudden it will ring a bell or it will resonate. And Your shoulders will get a little bit higher and you'll feel a connection immediately through, I think, the power of story.
Well, so you talk about, Kathleen, this library of stories. Just what are some of the biggest surprises that have come out of some of these stories if you kind of look back through your catalog?
As far as actually what happened, or would you say just in general similarities?
Just a little nugget from a story or two that maybe somebody could be inspired by, right? Like they're going down one path. We talk about pivoting to a different lane all of a sudden.
This was one of my first, and I think one of the most extraordinary stories of all. There was a woman in California, and she was a Holocaust survivor. And she, at a very, very young age, had lived in Poland and had come from a very wealthy family. And they had a Catholic family who worked for them. And when the family was captured, the family vowed to save this little girl, Isabel, and they did. And they hid Isabel in their attic for the remainder of the war. And I think at the time, I may have the timing right, but maybe 3 to 6 years old, somewhere in there. She was young. They hid her in the attic the remainder of the war. She survives the war. Her mother survived the war. Her mother takes her to Italy, to a convent, actually, and then eventually to the United States. So fast forward, she moves to California and she raises a family, and she never told anybody her story. She just didn't want to talk about it. She just kept it in the past, never wanted to talk about it. And about in her, I guess it was her 70s, someone found out about the story and it was on the news. And all of a sudden she said, you know what? I've got to share this story. I've got grandkids. People need to know this story. So her next step in life, and in her maybe late 70s, I think is when she decided to write the book. Now, she wasn't a writer. She'd never done anything in her life. And she grabbed a typewriter, she grabbed a friend, and they wrote this story, Isabel's Attic.
Wow,
And
that's
told her
amazing,
story.
especially at that age.
Right? So
Yes.
there are just so many components to that story. One, the basic becoming an author in your late 70s for the first time ever, and then sharing this story that just needed to be told. So that's one of my, I mean, there are just so many. There's one other who's one of my favorite women in the entire world, as are every Morphmom that I've ever interviewed, Simone Gordon, who's the founder of the Black Fairy Godmother. And she was a domestic violence survivor, and she had a son who couldn't speak, a nonverbal autistic child. She got out of this terrible situation, but she needed help. She couldn't put him in school because she didn't have an address. And you know how many people out there can relate to this. And you just get caught up in this whirlwind. And all she was trying to do was help this child. And she reached out. Everybody has a phone. She reached out on social media, on Facebook, and said, I need help. I need help. And of course, what do women do? They helped. And they came to her and they said, okay, Simone, we're going to help you, but you have to pay it forward. And I think God put her here to do just that. And she got herself a place to stay, got her child into school, got herself organized and working, and started the Black Fairy Godmother Foundation, which has become one of the biggest, most incredible foundations. She's been in People magazine, Kelly Clarkson show. She was just interviewed on, I think, Good Morning America. And what she did was she paid it forward, and she started, again, everybody has a phone. And if you're in trouble, you can get to a phone and you can get to her. And I think the tagline is she helps minority women in emergent situations. So I need diapers, I need food. They're turning my lights off tonight. I'm getting evicted. And you reach out to her on social media. Her team of angels vets you and makes sure everything is legit and good. And she raises money all over the country and has helped so many women around the country. It's unbelievable. So her next step was taking her tragedy and in developing this incredible nonprofit that is just paid for and helps so many. So those are just two. I mean, every single day, my stories are, there's something I have to share. Like, I can't get enough of these stories, but those are just two for now.
Can you repeat her foundation?
Yes. It's the Black Fairy Godmother Foundation.
Black Fairy
And it's such
Godmother
a great
Foundation.
name, such a great concept.
Amazing.
Truly amazing. I mean, I have goosebumps. The fact that like women can just make these types of things happen when you put your mind to it. It must just be so awesome to be you and to have this job and just all the time to be hearing how amazing these women are with the things that they're doing. It's good for you, man. I mean, I just think it's pretty.
And I have to say, like, those are extraordinary stories. I mean, I think every story is extraordinary, no matter what you've done. Starting this podcast, writing a book, writing your journal, sending it, whatever it is you're doing, I think is extraordinary. At our age or whatever age, to take a next step, to have the courage to do it, the tenacity to do it. And I think most importantly, then, the willingness to help others to do the same. That I think is the most important part of it all. So I think every story to me gives me goosebumps, and I'm grateful every single day that someone's willing to share what they've done.
Well, and it also helps you pan out, right? One of my good friends recently told me you just got to pan out when you sort of feel like,
you're
your
getting in your
world's,
own way.
yeah,
right?
you're getting in
Yeah.
your own way, and she was like, just pan out. There's a big world out there with people doing amazing, incredible things. And it's so exciting that you figured out something that brings you joy and happiness and hopefully will help share information across generations. And I think that when we went to your event in Greenwich, we both left feeling like super inspired. I mean, that was back in, I think, September. It's taken us this long, but we were determined.
That was definitely a seed to what we're doing now.
Oh, that makes me so happy because
It
for
really
you
was.
just saying that makes it worth everything that I'm doing.
Well, that is not
why
an
I do it.
exaggeration. Even the fact that the panel it was really a chance to meet new women and connect.
Yeah.
There's so much synchronicity in a way.
And I just love that women are just so willing to help. They want you to do well. And that's what I love what you're doing, that this younger generation is going to see that as well. And we can help them and they can help us. And all it does is expand this circle of support. It just makes it bigger and better.
That's exactly the fuel I needed today because we love, our daughters, they're coming and going and we get along and we have our challenges too. We're moms and daughters. But to be able to help each other is just something to be so grateful for.
And also to understand each other just a little bit better, right? Because I feel like this opens up the communication in terms of how they can help us and what they've learned and experienced from how they grew up with all the technology and the switching jobs. It feels like now the communication is even a little bit more open on more topics, right? It's always that mother-daughter, but I feel like now both of our daughters who are involved are giving us ideas and suggestions in terms of what to talk about. We were both at this dinner with two of my other close friends, and we literally had, I think we have 12 daughters between us, and there were 10 daughters at this dinner between the four women. And they literally came up with a list of things that they thought would be interesting to discuss.
That
either
was
challenges.
really telling, wasn't it? We just put the question out to them. Is there anything you would like to discuss with your mom or your aunt, someone in the older generation? And I thought they'd be kind and give us a couple ideas. They had a whole report, basically.
Well, I mean, just in this whole new post-COVID world, too, with just staying at home.
That's right.
The world is changing so quickly, and just have the advice both directions, how we handle this.
Well, exactly.
I think it couldn't be more important than right now.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. You're right. The pandemic was definitely a flip turn in those kind of conversations, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good segue to another thing we were curious about, Kathleen.
So what's one of the bigger trends that you see affecting women today?
I'd say two things, maybe. I'd say these, like what I do, these events where women come, I'm shocked at how many women actually really do want to come do this. And even if you may have some big, huge job or whatever it's you're doing, they really want to come and sort of be closer and connected and speaking. And again, I think post-pandemic, it's incredibly valuable afterwards because the way things have changed, I think they really want to be connected, but in person and in small, so sort of like a smaller venue where you can actually connect and feel that connection. I think that is a big thing.
And Kathleen, you're finding that they make the time. Even if they have full-on
Yes.
careers, they will fit it into the schedule somehow.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
great.
And I'm shocked sometimes women who otherwise would be doing will take off and come and these are with women who are not doing what they're doing. I think it's just the solidarity and the connection, and in a smaller group, I think we all just need it. I think we need that connection more than we even realize sometimes, and the motivation and another thing I think, and it's selfish to me because I think it's a very important thing, but people do appreciate hearing when things didn't work and how you figured it out, how they hit an obstacle. So I think they don't always want to come and hear someone saying, oh, I'm so great and this is so wonderful. I think they like to hear, you know what? Like you said, it took us a few months to do this, or I hit this obstacle and this is how I managed it. And I either kept going or it showed me I needed to switch and pivot and go a different direction. And I think, I don't know if that's necessarily a trend, but that is something people want to hear when they come to our things. They want to hear the good and the bad and how you overcame things that were hard.
Because I went through a fairly traumatic event in my life, and I was really focused once I was healing on the positive, on the solution side. But what I realized is, well, the problem was still there. It was just trying to solve it. And so some of the feedback I got from some of the community that I had reached out to was, thank you for the resources and the advice, but what are the tough days like? Because I have a lot of tough days myself, and it may not even be the same exact situation or the same challenge, but we just got to be in touch with all of it, all the things.
So that's the thing. Like, I guess trend might be the wrong description that I was, but I think it's this vulnerability. And I think we're craving others to be vulnerable and open. And then this world of social media where things are so perfect, I think when you're not on a screen and you're next to someone and they're telling you, we are very much alike. Like, yeah, I'm hitting bumps and this was really hard. And so I think that is just necessary and huge.
Well,
and
no, and I
wanted.
agree with you because I think that there's an element of just being real and honest and open. And that tends to come more when you're together in a room, be it at a Morphmom event or you're sitting with a close friend. There's a lot of ebb and flow. You start here, you end up there. And then there's a lot of things that don't work out. But if you enjoyed it and loved it, and keep going. I love the podcast, How We Built This. I find those fascinating because a lot of those people who hit it out of the park in terms of whatever you deem to be success, if it's like financially they sold out or now they have a huge brand, the majority of them had a couple failures along the way and they learn from it and they talk about it.
Well, and that's why what you're doing is so important because these girls need to learn that as well, that it's okay to show this. Because especially in their world, the younger generation you're going to be speaking to, their whole world is social media and what's not real. So I think what you're doing is so vital to teach them, that's what we can show them, that doesn't always, it's not the way life is and it doesn't work. And if you need to figure out life and how to overcome things, you've got to realize other people are doing it as well. So I think it's invaluable what you're going to be showing them on this side of it.
Oh, that's great. Not just the glossy, but the vulnerable. Can we get back to you and what you're doing?
Sure. I'm going around the country doing events where we limit it to 50 women, as you guys saw. We usually have about 12 speakers, and it's panels, and if it's during the day, it's a luncheon, panels, shopping, book signing, whatever we're doing, but you're connecting all day. And if it's at night, it's a similar thing, but maybe it's light fare and cocktails and mocktails and sharing. Whatever it is, it's telling as many stories as I can get out in that amount of time. We're going to be in Chicago. I've partnered with Boll & Branch. So whenever they have a store, we do the events in the city in Boll & Branch. So we're going to be in Chicago. I think it's September 4th at the Boll & Branch.
I think we might be there.
I was just going to say, I'm going to tell what speakers are going to be there. And you're looking at them and listening to them right now. And I can't wait for that. And then we're going to be back in Palm Beach in February. Well, I guess that's 2026 and Dallas. So that's what we're looking at for the year. We always do more than that, but those are the set ones. And then we have some exciting things we're working on behind the scenes. There will be some sort of a book on its way.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing.
Like
of all the stories.
It's in the works. It's in the works.
All right.
But I think it's going to be really fun.
And I love the way you make your way around the country. Do you do anything internationally or is it all here?
I would love to.
Okay.
I would if anybody is out there listening, I would absolutely love to do this anywhere. I mean, can you imagine expanding the stories there?
No, I think it would be wonderful. I mean, the cultural differences, the way
if anyone has
raised,
any connections out there, please tell me. I will come.
Hey, DM and comment if you have connections abroad.
Yes, 100%. That's
we really
so exciting. I mean, who wouldn't want to go to Paris to experience Morphmom and the Tour Eiffel.
Oh,
That's right. Anywhere. I will come anywhere. Morphmom travels. Yes.
Would you consider doing, just out of curiosity, since we're generations, would you ever consider doing sort of the younger population, like
Absolutely.
maybe a 20s specific, or because I think that could be really cool
I would. We
for
would. We
them
would
as all.
love to co-sponsor something like that with you.
I would absolutely do it. And I think I think the best panel would be a mix of morph moms and these young women. 100% I would
love
do
it.
that.
I couldn't agree more. And really almost
Yes.
like a mentorship type of thing too. You could have moms and
Absolutely.
daughters, but not, right? I mean, there's plenty of relationships.
My daughter's friends often come to the events to meet the women too. So
Yes.
100% I would love to do that. Absolutely, yes.
That would be really fun. We could get our daughter's friends, a group of people, and then some speakers, because that would be tying in the generations.
Yeah.
Getting
I
their
think
different
so, too.
Let's
Let's go.
I
on
would,
that
and
one.
I'd love to do it
Let's
together with you
talk
guys.
about
It'd be
that.
Yeah,
so
we would
fun.
love
And
that.
there's
Yeah.
more to come on that one.
And then, okay, so just to wrap this up, it's been such a pleasure. So we just have a few fun questions. Have you recently had a what the actual F moment?
And this, I'm going to give a good one. So I usually was only doing one event in the summer. And so it was going to be the Hamptons. And again, every time someone says yes to me, a speaker, anybody, that is my reaction. Like, I'm just so grateful. I can't even believe this is happening. They said yes. And in the meantime, someone said, oh, you should do Cape Cod. Go up to Chatham, do Cape Cod. You're going to be up visiting. And I said, okay, but I don't really know any, what would I do? And two of my dearest friends are up there, but
Oh,
what else would I do? And one of my dearest friends connected me with another friend up there. And within a day, I had 12 speakers. Like, wait, what?
I mean,
So
that's
yes, that was an
insane.
actual,
Well, that's also a tribute to you, Kathleen, I will say, because
Sure.
not everybody could make that happen. But I'm so excited that you can.
Right. For the benefit of all of us.
it is. And I couldn't do this without women like you and all the morph moms around the country who are willing to be vulnerable and share their
Oh
stories.
my gosh, we're part of the Morph Moms around the
100%.
country.
We're part of
I love
Morph
that.
Moms.
That's right.
One more question, and then we'll let you go. Just one piece of advice you would throw out to the world right now.
I think the word just should not exist. I think you were never
Okay.
just. I hate that word. You're never just. I think it's someone say, well, I just did this. Or,
I
I
love
just
that.
tried that. And I think the fact that you did anything or tried anything so surpasses anything. And you should take credit for that and never, ever, ever underestimate your own strength or your own beauty or your own efforts or your own talents. And don't
No.
ever belittle them with the word just. It's not fair to do that to yourself or to others.
All right, Kathleen, this was such a pleasure. Can't wait to chat with you again soon. And
Oh, I loved it. And I just have to throw this back at you guys because I love what you're doing. It's amazing.
I
Here we
just
are.
want to give a quick shout out to your sister, Christina, because I love her. And she was
Yes.
the one ultimately that connected us. We know that there are literally a million podcasts out there, and so many of them are so, so good. We'd love for you to tell your friends, daughters, and all the women in your life to tune in, get real, and share all the things.
Yes, share your stories with us by DMing and following us on Instagram at Gals Get Real Pod. And please subscribe, like, and share wherever you get your podcasts.
Until next time, lots of love.
This podcast is part of the Sound Advice FM network. Sound Advice FM, women's voices amplified.